Welcome back to Ralph's house. I keep picking and picking and picking over here, and I'm gonna let this paint sit for a minute. I'm gonna jump back on these trees over here. Kind of establish what we want. This tree's closest will be darker, that will be lighter, and that will be lighter. So we kind of got to work on our trees a little bit, because right now they're all in the same place. Let's move this tree back here back a little bit. Let's get some line in here now. Going up into that tree, and heading over into here. Pretty much took that tree out a little bit. Get on down where that light's hidden in there. So that gives me something to paint into now. We've got that light that's going to be cast in between here. Head down for that road. I'm going to roll that stroke a little bit. Okay, now this dark, we're going to redarken that. I'm going to grab some my burnt umber. A little bit of ultramarine blue. I've got enough white in my brush to give us a little. Let's get the color in here. Where we're wanting that to come to. And roll that brush. Remember, we don't want that. We want it to look like a tree. So every time you add a different color, it's going to add more and more dimension, more depth to this tree. You'll find places where you'll want it to go and leave it, not take out the, but see now that tree is a different color than that tree, which is different from this tree. That's what we were trying to achieve. I'm going to grab just a touch of this burnt sienna, put in there. Just give us a little more color into it. There we go. Get there. We'll come forward. We're going to darken this just a little bit. I'm going to grab some of this green, mix in here with it. See what that does. That green sounds strange, but let's see what it does in this tree with all these dark colors under it. It's going to be a totally different color than all the other trees, so it's going to make it kind of stand out for a minute. It's going to carry up in here, and it's going to come across, roll across that tree that's there. Now let's change that color with that, all that green in it. Put that burnt sienna in there with it on that green. See if we can't get a decent color there. What can we grab here? Still don't have quite what I want. A little bit more red into it. Yeah, more of a red bark into that. But I've lost some of my dark. I'm going to grab some more ultramarine blue, mix in with that. There we go. Come across that tree. Get that on up, get that on up into there. Get my shadows coming back. So we got to have those shadows on the ground and a bit of dark side of that down in there. Across that road, push those strokes, pull those strokes, stroke those strokes, make strokes. Don't be afraid to let it show. Now I'm going to grab some white, mix into what we just did. Just to give this tree a whole different look. We'll put some color in this in just a second. Remember, roll that stroke. We need that tree shape. Want that tree shape on there. It's hidden off up there on top of that tree. Now I'm going to grab some of that burnt sienna and put in there with it. If that don't work, we'll do something different. Getting something to paint into them. Get rid of this big brush here. a little bit smaller brush here. Get my ultramarine blue, some of that dark green into that blue. We have some of that more of a crimson mix in with it. Just dry that dark in there. Let's work that into that tree. Remember where your lights are coming from. I want that tree to have that texture. I'm going to kind of roll that brush. I'm pushing that up, pulling it, twisting it, making it, giving it trees. Trees aren't smooth bark. Trees are bark. They're afraid to make bark. And it's not as dark as I thought it would be, but we'll get it darker here in a little bit. If it ain't done, if it's not what we want, we'll add more. We can always get there. Push that one up in there. Push it up the top of that tree. Not happy at all. Ultramarine blue. Grab that crimson, mix in with it. Get it darker, 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 darker. And a little bit of burnt umber. See if I can give me a darker color in here what I got. There we go. This is probably want to have a blaze when some of this dries down a little bit to get back to where I want to be with this. But we're not afraid to try. I want to get different colors in each one of those trees, but I've just lost all my. So to have that strong light, we've got to have that dark. I kind of gave that up. I'm going to get that back in there. Also that backside of that tree. That forks into there and up into there. Now to the shadows. Kind of growing out towards us a little bit. We definitely gonna have something to paint into next week, or not even next week, tomorrow night actually. You know, I try to paint a couple hours, 2 or 3 nights a week, and that's how you develop a technique or a style, or that's how you're gonna get something and retain it. It's because you paint soon enough not to forget everything that you got. I tell you what, we're going to have to work on these trees again. You pull that back. When I get satisfied with some of this other stuff, y'all come.